Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Get It Done podcast with Erin, the podcast where I talk to other business owners about their business, allowing them to share what they are doing, allowing them to share their story, their journey, along with the process of being a business owner. The reasoning for the podcast, for me, my hope for the podcast, my prayer for the podcast is that. Um, the podcast will reach someone that is maybe feeling defeated or has been paralyzed by the spirit of fear. I talk to a lot of people, and one of the main things that a lot of people have in common is the spirit of fear, stopping them from just going to do the thing, whatever the thing may be. A lot of times it is business, but in some cases it's just stepping forward, moving forward in their life in a small area, but for whatever reason they're scared to do it. So I talk to business owners that basically I've never met before. I've never talked to most of them will be people that I've never talked to. Um, said I do have a few friends in business, a few family members in business, so we're gonna get them on this podcast as well. But for the most part, I'm talking to complete strangers, and allowing them to tell their story to see how they move forward, because it is a fearful thing. It is a little bit scary to start a business, and a small business at that, and we have all these ideas and we're just putting them out there, figuring out a way to make money from them. So I'm going to bring up the guest now.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, you have to help me out. Is your name pronounced Dalia?
Yeah, Dahlia.
Which one?
It
Dahlia.
it's been like that. Nobody knows how to pronounce my name, not even my own parents.
I try to get it right.
Thank you.
How are you? Happy Wednesday.
I've been doing good. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know what you're doing, what you do.
Hi, I'm Dahlia. I am the founder of Dahlia's Ideal Pets, which I started when I was in seventh grade, and
Nice.
it's been a very interesting journey. I will say that.
So seventh grade, how did that huh?
Yeah, so what happened is when I was in seventh grade, I basically got a 6 foot python for a pet. Um, and we went out to parks to take photos of her because she was just this, she's this beautiful snake, which I have. My mom will go get her right now. But she was
Okay.
this beautiful snake, and we would bring her out to parks to take photos of her, because everyone thought, oh, she's so pretty. So we brought her out to parks, we got photos of her, and eventually people started saying, hey, you could turn this into something. And that was the first time I ever heard of oh, you could turn this into a business. And I really never thought about it. I only thought about it as, oh, I have animals and take some cool photos. But this is her right here. This is her.
Oh my goodness. I'm so not an animal person, but I think animals photograph beautifully, but
Yes.
I am not an animal girl. How cool. So this is the snake you found at 7?
Yes, so she's the one who really started it all, you
Where'd
know.
you find her?
So she's a rescue snake. Her old owners left her in the cage with a rat, and a rat started to eat at her back. So you can see she has some scarring on her back. Um,
Okay.
so we got her because someone just had her at a shelter and needed us to take her in. So we took her in for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, but snakes eat rats though, right? Or no?
Yes,
Oh, okay. So this one, it was the opposite in that situation.
pretty much.
Yeah.
She's kind of ever since then she's grown a big fear of rats. So we can only feed her little teeny tiny.
Mice.
Yes.
Is that all they eat? What else do snakes eat?
Well, really, rats, mice, that's pretty much all they eat. Yeah, I mean, some can eat birds, but that's really rare. The larger snakes, there's snakes that grow 25 feet long and they eat piglets and rabbits and all that kind of stuff. So that's a
Oh my
whole nother
goodness.
thing.
Yeah. Okay, so it's tell me what do you do? What is your business? I mean, I know the
So
name,
I
but
bring animals to events and birthday parties. I've gone for Girl Scouts. We're
okay.
looking to expand to school events. We've done multiple birthday parties and events, and yeah,
Oh, nice. So I need to connect you with one of my friends. She does like beautiful parties. But a lot of times kids and parents, they may get, you know, they may want animals. So I'll send you, or I'll send her your connect.
yeah, that'd be good.
And how long have you been doing it?
Since I'd say 2019 is
Oh,
when I
okay.
started.
So what did you start when you were 7?
17. Um,
Oh, I thought you said.
Seventh grade. Yeah.
Oh,
The seventh grade, not 17.
okay.
Basically, well, 7 is actually the age where I started really. What's the word? I grew very what's the word?
Like,
Interested and kind of hypnotized by just animals. I
nice.
was all I could talk about was animals. My parents kind of got sick of me at that point. You know, I was that one really annoying kid who pretended to be a dog in class. That's pretty much, you know. I grew out of that, but that was a bit of an embarrassing thing to think back about. But
I mean,
it's
when
been
kids are
obvious
into
since I
stuff,
was little.
but yeah,
Yeah.
but when kids are like into stuff, they really get into it. Like,
Yes.
I used
Yes.
to work with kids, and one of my clients, he was like, he had to be 4 years old, first of all, and he knew everything. I mean, wow, I can't say everything, but he knew so much about dinosaurs, like it was crazy. And then, like
Yeah.
when he would get in certain moods, he would like, I don't know, do they roar, whatever the noise that dinosaurs
Yeah.
make, and he would like, it was so funny. He was adorable though, but when kids are in, I had another kid. He was into like the sprinkler system
Oh yeah,
installed.
the in the backyards, the automatic
Yes,
sprinklers.
but he was able to they went to Home Depot and brought him just like the sprinkler. He was able to take it apart and put it back together. He was also like he was about four going on 5.
Mm,
And it's like when they get into
amazing.
it, they're like all in. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for family. I wouldn't have been able to make it as far as I have without my family. So they're so important to me, and I cannot be grateful enough. That's really the truth. Yeah.
Period. So they've supported you during the whole time with your business?
Yes, my mother and
So
my father.
nice. And then, so where do you keep the animals?
So we keep some in my house. We have like my bird cage right over here. We have my reptiles over there. But then also, outside we have some bunnies in the back yard. But then also we have a friend who has a huge canyon where most of our bunnies stay.
Oh, nice. And then, where do you get them from? Like, are you fine with the
Um,
ones you have now, or do you continue to
well, most
accumulate?
of our animals are rescues. Because a lot of people go after us for breeding. We breed sometimes, but that's only for special occasions. But we usually, because a lot of people, we've gone things from someone messaging us that they found something in a dumpster to someone dropping up at our doorstep or someone messaging us and asking us, and they come from all different crazy places.
Nice. And then, so before you were doing the parties, what were you guys doing?
I was just taking photos. I was still in middle school, so yeah, I didn't have a job yet. I was just sitting around. I had a lot of problems back then, and so animals have really cured all my problems.
Nice. And what are you most proud of in your business?
Probably, like, do you mean business wise or that I've overcome with my business? Like, which one?
When I say what are you most proud of, the first thing that comes to your head, like concerning your business, though.
Yes. Um, I'm definitely most proud of um, us being able to actually grow a social status and for people to actually remember us because that's definitely been very hard for us to do.
Nice. And how do you guys get your clients? Just is it all through social media, like the
So
birthday
we do a
parties?
little bit of social media. The only thing is I'm not very good at keeping up with it. I'm not a very social media kind of person. I only do it for my animals, but otherwise, there are, for instance, schools. We go to the back of schools where there are parks where are connected to it, and people meet us there at the end of school.
Nice. That is such a cool idea, I think. So has there been a time in your business where you're like, okay, I don't know what to do, like things
Yep,
aren't working out?
too many times, too many times. Because I was quite young when I started. It went from taking pictures of my snakes to breeding rats to breeding bunnies, and then 4-H, and then it's moved from thing to thing to eventually become my business. But keeping it, you know, once I got started, I was, you know, the thing is figuring out how to move forward. I knew
Yeah.
what I had to do, but I didn't know how to do it at the time, because nobody in my family's ever done this before.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have any connections for people like that. And I felt so out of place to going to someone and asking them about it, but they don't even know me. So it was mostly just about figuring out, because we started by bringing animals to the back of parks, and then we're like, well, what do we do now? We need to find just some kind of channel for people to a place that people to channel into. And after, a while, we eventually figured out, oh, we need to put a business website up. And after that, what are we going to do? Because people don't know how to get our business website. So then we made business cards. But it's taken so long for us to figure out what to do next that it was a bit of a hassle. Yeah.
I think it's all a part of the process. Like I think we have to, in those, especially in those moments, we have to find like the joy in the hustle, in the
Yes.
struggle, because it gets, when it is hard, it's harder to keep going if we aren't appreciative even of the hard times. Um, so what have you learned from those situations, like the situations where you have your back up against the wall?
I'd say think outside of the box, and it's okay to take time off.
Yes.
Because sometimes you're thinking so hard that you can't see the bigger picture, and that if you need to take a few days off, a week off, you should do so, because that's when you'll really realize later on, when you're not thinking so hard, what you actually have to do.
Yep, I agree. Um, what is, or is there anything that scares you about business?
Definitely. um it's gotten better, but I originally started the business and I was really young at the time, so people kind of were a bit judgy about that. Most people were like, oh, that's so cool, but at the same time, we were, you know people were judging and thinking that we weren't, you know, actually a business. And that scared me, having to socialize with adults at the time when I was still really young, and that terrified me, and trying to get them to understand that this is a real thing.
Yeah. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with judgment and still having to keep it
Um,
pushing and focus on the business?
it probably wasn't the best way, but sometimes I would give a little bit of sass just to try and make them understand. I was very professional about it, though, all the time. I would never be super rude to someone. I would never be rude to someone, but um, kind of put their words in a question and make them question themselves, like, huh, you know.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to really learn how to word things, because ever since I was young, I've had a hard time socializing. And so I've always had major social anxiety, and it's what my animals have helped me get through it. And so eventually I just had to learn how to power through it, and that's always been an issue, and it still is, but it's slowly gotten better, and it's all about learning that everyone else is still, they're all still human. You're not talking to some big person who means so much more than you. We all have our purpose in the world, and you need to understand that they also have theirs, and they're not infinitely better than you.
I
It's
agree.
that kind of thing.
Yes. I'm so very proud of you, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think we as business owners, we learn so much from being in the positions that we're in, because it's not like we're at work where we clock in, we're there, we still get paid. Like here, we have to figure out how to properly manage our emotions, one, while dealing with like clients and customers. Not everybody is super happy, and
Yeah.
not all people are the greatest people. So we have to be able to figure out how to maneuver in those situations. And for me, I think I've grown so much just from being in business because of that. Like, because I still have to maintain like my professionalism, but still I'm like, okay, I'm human. I still, who are you talking to?
Yeah. And I found, like, how can you not calm down when you have someone like this who can just,
Oh, how
in your arm. and
cute.
and the thing is, most of what I do is on the phone or through email,
Okay.
but it is more normally on the phone. So it's not like I'm always in person. And usually, if I am in person, I have an animal, and that's what's really powered me through it. But even so, I've had to learn to kind of wean off the animals, if you understand what I mean,
Yeah.
and learn how to do it myself, and not
Mhm.
even like, it's okay to have an animal with you, but you need to learn how to cope in other ways, because they're not always going to be with you, and you have to figure out how to do that. And so it's been difficult, but I've gotten, I've gotten to it.
Good. Is there a question that, or what question, if you had to ask another business owner, would you ask them?
Oh, that's a good one. um Definitely how to stay relevant is a big thing for me.
I agree. So, how do you think? What's the best way, in your opinion, to stay relevant?
I still haven't figured it out myself, to be honest. I'm still learning and growing, but some things are still quite a mystery to me, and I'm still trying to figure them out.
I think, if I had to answer the question, I think, just staying true to who we are, and like being authentic to ourselves, because nobody else can do and be who we are and what we're doing. So that keeps us relevant, because nobody else is doing it. Nobody can be me or you. Um, yeah, that probably maybe would be my answer.
Well, that's a good answer, yeah.
Yeah. So do you have an ideal client?
Um, to be honest, not really.
No.
Um, I mean, as long as they're able to, understand and not go straight to, screaming at me, I'm good. you know. Um, because I've found that people in LA are the people, at least the people I've met, the parents, they're so understanding because they've been through so much with having kids, that I've been lucky enough to not have too many people going after me for a tiny mistake, And
Yeah.
so it's a really big thing that I'm very grateful for.
Yeah. Most people are pretty understanding, and like it's rare that I have the difficult client. I mean it happens, but it's very rare. I've been in the game for about 4 years now, and I probably had maybe two, maybe three, if that. Um, but it comes with it. Comes with the
Yeah, I've
territory.
I've found that, the the children's are usually more difficult than the parents. So that's there. But at the same time, it's so much easier to, you know, communicate with children, in my opinion, because that's always kind of what I've done since I was younger. I started with helping special needs kids when I was in second grade, and then when I moved to middle school, I helped with kindergartner class, and I've always, kept up with education and helping younger people and, whoever needs help. And so I found that it's easier for me to communicate with the kids than to communicate with the parents.
Yeah, I used to work with kids, and I agree. Completely agree. So we're talking about yourself a couple years ago. So is there anything that you, or what would you say today to yourself 5 years ago, and what would you say to yourself five
Hmm.
years from now?
Um, 5 years ago, that's a good one. I would. Yeah, I would definitely say, you know, it's to keep pushing, you know, don't be scared to fight back. Ever since I was a child, if someone just asked me a question nicely, I would start crying. So I would say it's okay to cry, but at the same time, you need to be able to push back and try and understand your surroundings before you feel scared. And to my future self, I hope to work on getting a better backbone. It's
It's
still
coming,
gonna be
girl.
there, but it'll I need to grow it.
It's on its way. Um, is there something that you wish you had known before you started the business? Is there something that you wish you probably were a little more prepared for?
Yeah, yeah, a couple things. Mainly, you know, I didn't in the very beginning. I didn't think it through. I got so excited. I can turn this into something, and I didn't think about challenges and the things I would have to go through to really get going. And I still haven't fully realized them, but at the same time, I've seen so much and I've done so much, and I don't know how I'm not burnt out, but I it, it's hard to explain, but there's just so much.
um, can you share any advice that has had a huge impact on your business journey?
um Even before starting a business, or if you're in business, make goals. You shouldn't have huge goals. Like, you can, but focus on small goals that are easy to achieve and slowly work your way up instead of feeling stressed and like you don't know what's going on and what to do. If you make small goals, you can slowly work your way up, and it's easier for you to realize what you need to do and how to do it, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. Um, so do you believe in competition?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny.
And if
Um,
so, how do you feel about competition?
well, we've been lucky. We don't find as many people who have a better price than us and have the same kind of thing as us. There's maybe one or two, but it is always out there, and we try and stay clear of that ideology, and just try and keep up doing the best as we can, because I've always kind of buckled under the stress and under competition. I've never been a competitive person because it's always stressed me out. And so, what we like to instead focus on is doing our best and making ourselves better than we can possibly hope to be, trying to be, um, and not worry about the competition and just make sure you're doing okay and that you're doing things right instead of worrying about what they're doing and what you're not doing.
I agree. I don't believe in competition. I think we're all so different. Like, how could we compare, really? Like,
Yeah, we
uh,
even had actually it's funny, my mom, we were talking because a young girl, about 16, messaged us. She lives about 2-3 hours away, and she was asking me how to run a business. And my mom's like, I don't know if you should tell her because, you know, she could be competition. I'm like, this is actually a good opportunity. We're actually going to go see her in late March, yeah, and we're gonna help her out because we were thinking about becoming, sister businesses. If someone lives farther away from her but closer to us, she can refer her to us. And if someone lives close to her but message us, we can refer to her instead of thinking about it being competitions and, being difficult for each other.
yeah, and both of you guys can learn from that situation, and that will be good for your social media too to document that process. Just an idea. One thing you've always wanted to do but you haven't.
That's a good one. I've, you know, I've always wanted to be able to contact schools, and because quite often you see schools for assemblies and stuff, promoting businesses sometimes for, you know, educational purposes, and I feel like that's something we could do. Only thing is, I'm a little bit kind of scared too. So it's something I really want to do, but I just haven't gotten to it because I feel like I'm not ready.
What you scared of?
I don't even know. It just it's
Well,
kind
why
of
do you feel you're not ready? Let's talk about it.
it's nerve wracking. You know, I'm used to standing in front of 50 kids, but then if it's like an assembly, there's going to be over 100, and
Oh yeah.
that's a whole nother thing. And then not only that, but there's going to be teachers, and I'm just worried about judging. And I know it's probably not as bad as I think. It's just it's all in my head, but it's still something really hard to go past and push through with.
Yeah. Or maybe you can find an assistant, and then like once you do it with someone else over time, you'll get comfortable. Um so do you believe in work-life balance?
Yeah,
Yeah, and how
yeah.
do you maintain it if you do?
Um, well, I've always tried to I've always tried to be a person with a schedule for, what to do at what time, but I've never been able to keep it up because I have a problem with once I start something, I have to finish it.
Well,
And
that's a
then
good problem to have.
it is, but at times it's quite bad. I almost didn't make the meeting because I was so into writing down in my journal thing. Um, But it's like if I start an art project, I can't go to bed until I finish it. Or if I start working on the website, I can't stop until I finish it, even though I have a commitment that I've already made. And so it is something that I believe in and that I try and strive towards, but that my can't stop until I finish kind of makes it difficult for it to mesh together well.
Yeah, because if you can't finish, then that means you can't go to bed.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you up all night until you get it
I've
done.
had multiple nights. It's not uncommon for me to stay up until 3 and then wake up at 5 or wake up at, five in the morning or 5 in the evening. So
Yeah, me, I would be the 5 in the evening girl. I just, out of everything, I just have to get my sleep. Like I have to. I'm not a good person if I don't have my sleep.
I understand that.
um, do you think being in business has changed you at all?
Definitely, definitely. Um, it's a whole story. Ever since I was a child, I've struggled with severe anxiety and depression, and I went to middle school and I ended up dropping out because I ended up going to the, psychiatric hospital. And that was a whole process. And I would, as I said, I would cry at the littlest of things. My mental health was down the drain. I wasn't doing good at all. I gained weight because my way to overcome how I felt was stress eating. And then after I found my animals and started my business and I actually started socializing, I wasn't terrified of talking to people. I got out of the house. I wasn't sitting in my bed all day. I've I've actually made friends. They might be younger or older than me, but they're at least friends. And I didn't have friends back then. I've learned to talk in front of a crowd. I've learned to talk in front of people. I've learned to communicate well and how to read body language and understand people. And actually, the big fact is, I'm actually able to leave my room and not just sit in my room 24/7, sulking and stress eating over, a fly being in my room. So my business has given me something to focus on and something and a person to strive towards of what I want to be. And that's really helped me along the way for sure. And I can't imagine what I would be without my business today.
I love that. I love that for you. And I am like extremely inspired to because I understand being in a certain headspace that isn't really beneficial for our lives. And a lot of times it's hard to get out of that space. So the fact that you are like doing it and you're here, how was it were you nervous to do the podcast?
Definitely, definitely. I was terrified. This entire time I was kind of like pacing back and forth and writing in my little journal and with my OCD it triggers when I get really stressed out, so I'm like rearranging everything in my room until the last minute and I'm like, "Oh god, I'm going to be late." So I quickly turned on.
But it's fine, right?
Yeah, it's not
It's
as bad as
super
I thought it would be.
easy.
It wasn't as scary as I thought it would be.
What do people think about you that isn't true?
Um Well, people see, I am obese, and that's something people see, and then they think I don't do anything towards my business and everyone else running it. They think, oh, everyone else is working on your website, and all you do is sit in your bed, and it's not like that at all, and that's really upset me, and I've kind of learned to ignore it because I'm the one who's, taking care of everything with, from the website to graphic designing to scheduling and all that kind of stuff. And so people have, automatically thought I'm lazy and I don't do anything, and that my whatever I'm doing is going to be subpar due to how I look. And that's always been a problem for me, but I've learned to ignore it and just keep going and prove people wrong, and just seeing their face is like the best part of it.
Period. Showing them the complete opposite. But I love that. Um, what's one thing what motivates you basically? What motivates you to, well, outside of the animals and the business, is there anything that like really
Yeah.
gets you going?
My parents, um I'm adopted. Me and my sister are both from the same mother and father. And my mother and father adopted us. I turned 18 in December. My mom's in her 60s. And so the difference in age is, large-ish. And so my big goal is to actually make it into something big enough where I'm able to support my family and, be able to let my parents live a life without having to work anymore. Because that is something, like, most kids are, 20 years younger than their parents, and it's different for me, and it worries me that I'm gonna have to lose them at a younger age if they have to keep working because of how young my family was when they adopted us. So it's something that I've been really striving towards, is just so I can make enough money to give them a good life.
Yeah, same. I think that is what drives me, knowing that at some point I'm gonna be able to like cash my parents out and say thank you for just everything that they've done to take care of me all the days of my life. Okay, so this is just a fun thing that I do. I do 5 words. So when I say whatever word I say, whatever you think of, you say it, and then we just go back and forth. So whatever you say, then I have to say the first thing that comes to mind according to what you say. Um, rainy days.
Rainbows.
God.
Happiness.
um, love.
Family.
Sometimes drama.
um Theater.
Movies. That
um
was
yeah. Those-
a little fun little thing that I like to do. So the idea of the podcast is to, I know you heard the intro, but is to hopefully inspire someone. I talk to a lot of people that are just um ruled by fear, and they're so scared that they don't even start a thing. They have all these great ideas, they have all these goals, but they don't do it because they're scared. So what advice do you have to give to her or him about just doing the thing?
um it took me about a year or 2 years to actually start mine, and all I can say is I regret not starting it sooner. And a long time of it isn't actually social until you have everything figured out. So plan and really think about how great it would be, and not about the fears holding you back, is definitely my best advice for that.
I agree. Beach days or rainy days in the house? Pick one.
Rainy days in the house.
Really?
um Mostly because I don't like getting sand in between my toes.
See, and when I was younger, I was that way. I absolutely love the sand. I love everything about the beach, though. I'm a complete beach girl.
It's mostly
But
that it's because I like getting sand between my toes. It's just when you're getting into the car and you
it
can't
gets
stop.
everywhere. Yes, sand is everywhere.
And then you're sitting comfortably in your seat because you got sand on your back and
Yes, it gets everywhere. Well, I would like to thank you for showing up for me, showing up for you, showing up for the people. Is there anything that you would like to share? How can people find you? Any promos or anything you have coming up that you would like
yeah.
them to know about?
We just started a foster program where people get to try fostering bunnies if they've never fostered a rabbit but they want to try it, or if their child wants to try it, or if you can't afford it but you want to be able to have a pet in your home for a few days. Hopefully, we're going to be selling our own feed, custom feed soon. And if you want to find us, you can go to dahliasidealpets.com.
Nice. Are you on social at all? Kinda, not
Yep,
really.
it's at Dahlia's Ideal Pets on Facebook and dahlias.ideal.pets on Instagram.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dahlia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Thank you.
And I hope you're able to sleep well.
I'm sure I will. Is it raining where you are?
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit rainy.
Yeah, I'm
I
over
have a
it. I'm
duck
like,
outside and she's just loving eating the worms.
yeah, I'm over the rain. I'm tired of it. We've had enough. But okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Have a good
Have a
evening.
good night.
Bye.
Bye. And that was episode 11. I had no clue that. So what I do is because they do fill out an application, but I don't know. I read over them once I'm sending the message, but once they schedule the podcast, I don't know who's gonna show up. But I think that is the coolest thing ever. Like I said, I'm not an animal girl, but I think animals are they photograph beautifully. And like, what a great thing to have an idea, or not even an idea, because I don't think it started as an idea. She just found, or she got a pet, and then look what it turned into. Like, I think one of the greatest blessings of zoning in on the things that we enjoy, and figuring out a way to um make a business out of it. Like, what a great joy. Like, I think in business, for me, we have to be able to enjoy the things that we do, enjoy the work that we're doing. So if you can take something that you already love and turn it into a business, like, what else can I ask for? But if you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. If you are watching this on what do I have it on? I have it on Facebook. If you are watching this on Facebook, follow. And if you are watching this from the Facebook group and you have a business and you would like to share your business, I would love to have you. I will, I don't know, find a way to message me somehow, so that I can send you the link so that you can sign up to share your business. I will see you. I have one more actually tonight, so I will be back in a couple hours. So I'm about to go outside, do a facial, come back in the house, do another podcast. Your girl is working, y'all. Don't forget to thank God for your blessings. Don't forget to say your prayers, and don't forget to take care of your skin. Bye.